Welcome to the Poetry Slam. So here on Eco TV International, the People's Choice, where we celebrate the power of words, the beauty of expression, and the art of poetry. I am your host, Roheyatou Touray. Every week, we invite talented poets to come and showcase their talent and their art of work. And today, here with me is the ambitious poet. She's passionate about everything. She will introduce herself shortly. But before that, you can kindly follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Sponsors are also invited. You can call on the various numbers on the screen to sponsor this program. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am the ambitious, with a voice so melodious, a face so angelic, we can melt the heart of the demon. Well, this is just a brief introduction of a God with an ambition.
Ah, nice. Well, how do you came about with this name? Is it given to you by someone or you just name yourself?
Well, I gave myself this name
Okay.
because I know myself more than anyone. Actually, my mentor by the name Omar Drame, I call him commonly known as O Boy. He taught me how to pick up the pen and start writing. So while I started writing, and then I was like, okay, I don't have a pen name, and then I asked him, oh boy, can you please get me a pen name, a name that I can use whenever I write and recite poems? He was like, no, I cannot choose a name for you. You should choose a name for yourself. And then he said, look at yourself. You know yourself more than anyone. Look at yourself and you find a name that suits you. So at first I had to sit down and think and think. I first chose the name Incredible. I was like, yeah, I'm incredible. But
Okay.
even though I'm incredible, but I want a name that you know that it's so catching. Whenever you see the name or you hear the name, you feel
Feel something.
yeah, you feel something.
Right.
So that is why I chose the name Ambitious, because I know I'm ambitious, because I'm determined to get what I want. And I don't only stop at one career also, because as a person, I wanted to study journalism.
Okay.
I wanted to study a law,
Two.
though it didn't work.
All right.
I'm also studying diplomacy and international relations. So I
Okay.
want to be an ambassador rather, and I also want to work for NGOs if possible. And I'm also doing poetry. So and there are others that I don't mention. So
Okay. And among all these that you've mentioned, which one do you love most and which one are you most passionate about?
most passionate about that is poetry and drama. I love drama since primary school. I've been acting, and I know drama like the back of my hand.
Okay, then what also inspired you to become a poet?
Well, because of how I see people reciting, and then people like Omar Champion Cham, Chernobyl, the more they recite, the more they inspire me. And then people were like, "You have the voice to recite. Why not you recite?" So I'll take these people, their poems, and then recite in the crowd, and then people who were like, "You have the voice," we are telling me to recite. So I told them that, okay, I don't want to keep reciting other people's poem and then
Okay, after you recite someone else's
yeah,
poem.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to keep reciting other people's poem, be praising me for someone's work. I don't feel
Okay.
comfortable. So now I have to learn how to write, and then that's how I start writing my own poems and recite.
Okay, and also, who are the writers or poets that have influenced your poetic work?
We have first of all my mentor, that is Omar Drame. He's a creative person. He's a writer. He's also a public speaker. He creates animations, rather. He also creates designs, graphic designs. He also conduct classes, rather.
Okay. And how did you discover your unique voice as a poet? Is it a gradual process or a sudden realization?
It's a gradual process. It was from high school. That's when I started discovering my unique voice, because my teachers were like, you have the voice, so why not? But I was like, really, do I really have the voice? Because me reciting, just me standing before the public is something that is normal, but I don't think about whether my voice is good or not, so I just recite and then. But when people are like, your voice is so melodious, as okay, then let me try reciting and then sharing it in poetry platforms. So when I recited without no background tune, so when I recited and then shared to poetry platforms, they were like, your voice is good and so on. So that forced me to start using backgrounds and then reciting my own poem. So it's a gradual process.
Okay. And what also keeps you motivated on the journey?
What kept me motivated
Motivated, yes.
in
As a
this,
poet.
yeah, it's what's happening around me. You know, as a poet, you keep writing, especially looking around you, what's happening. Oh, let's take it personal. I personally, I like writing depending on my mood most of the times. Sometimes when I'm in pain and then I don't have who to cry to, or I feel like I can always go to people and then cry because people have their own problems. So I cannot keep
Sure.
sharing my problem to people every time, every now and then. So I have my book and pen. Those are my best friends. So whenever I'm in pain, I will just take and write. I'll just let the words flow. From there, I can start arranging. So when I'm happy too, I write. When I look at my mom too, I see how she's hustling for us and what she's trying to do for her kids, sacrificing and other things. I look at her and I'll be like, she's a phenomenal woman and she deserves a poem too.
Okay. And how do you feel after being in a certain mood, either happy or being sad, and then you start to write? After all, how do you feel about it?
I feel relieved. I feel like I've cried to someone, and
Okay.
then the person have gave me words of comfort. Because if I'm in pain and then I recite, I cry and everything, wipe my tears, and then when I'm done, I recite what I wrote. I feel relieved.
Does poetry really mean to you, and how has that meaning evolved over time?
Poetry to me means expressing yourself more of in a rhythmic way, because if you express yourself, express the love you have or the pains you feel or what inspires you, whenever you write it down and then you recite using background tune, so you let the rhythm flow while reciting, so the words and the rhythm will show how poetry express oneself in a rhythmic way.
Okay. Now walk us through your creative process. How do you form an idea through a poem?
Well, at first I started writing, should I call it a speech
Okay.
about my dad. I look at my dad, I say, okay, my mom, my dad, these people are the most important people to me in my life. So let me start with them. Let me start writing about them. Then I start writing about my mom. And then start thinking about poems I read from books and then or words that tally with my mom. And then I started writing word by word, word by word, word by word. And then went to my dad too. My dad, I wrote it a long, it's more like a speech. Because at that time I was like, let the words flow. So I was letting the words flow. By that time I didn't know how to fix here and fix there and fix everything. So I was just writing.
Okay. Then after finishing that, do you take it to someone to edit it for you, or you edit it for yourself?
Yeah, sure. My mentor. Whenever I start writing or wherever I write my work, I send it to him, and then he'll do some editing and then give it to me.
Oh, all right. And do you have any rituals or habits that help you into the mindset to write?
I have it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling happy most of the time. Or sometimes when I watch a movie and I see something catching, something that inspires me, there I'll just write it. Sometimes when I listen to music and something inspires me, I'll write it down. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you handle writer's block or moments when words don't just seem to flow?
Mm, For me,
Like when you are writing, stuff don't seem to come.
I just place the book and pen
Okay.
and do something else because yeah, sometimes it happens. When you want to write, sometimes you just feel like writing. You just think of a title and then you say, okay, today I'm going to write and it's going to be based on this. So when I bring the book and pen and I write one word, two words, one sentence, two sentence, and then like a stanza, the words are not coming again. Sit and think, watch, listen to music and do everything. Words are not coming. I spoke okay, no problem. I'll just pack my book and pen. I say, let's wait for tonight or another day. Because for now, the words are not coming.
Okay. And do you also normally visit the beach site or wait till at night to write your poems? Because many poets do used to say that you go to the beach site or wait till dawn. By then the atmosphere will be cool, everywhere will be quiet, then things seems to flow so that you can write.
Well, I'm not actually the outgoing type,
Okay.
but I visited the beach once and then while I was shedding tears, while I was crying, I was having more ideas and then I was writing. But I'm more of the type who writes during the night. At night, words flow like so. While the words are flowing, while words are coming out, just because by then I might not have my book and pen, so I will just message myself on WhatsApp. I'll keep it there. Yeah.
Okay. And is there a particular poem of yours that holds special significance to you? Can, if there is, can you share the story with us?
Of course, there is, and that the title is Invisible Girl.
Invisible Girl.
Yeah. This story tells a lot. This poem rather tells a lot because since I was in Basse, I spent like over a decade in Basse. I did all my schooling there. Yeah. So it. Let me just recite and then I'll explain.
Okay.
So here it goes. Invisible girl. I am that girl with the name tag invisibility, looking up to the world for visibility. But no, the world can see my visibility till I progress and conquer success to access their assets. I am that invisible girl who strives hard to my tribes, no, no, in the lives for my mortals. See, sometimes I just want to be locked up like Goldilocks, think like Tinkerbella, smile like Bondita, sing like Cinderella, rock like rockstar from Ghana, promise myself like King Promise, bend down my thoughts like self for the youth. I must admit I am under the spell of poetry. Come on. I just want to show the world that I can be visible, incredible, meticulous, mysterious, and of course, ambitious. Hey, listen. I'm now ready to talk my talks and do my do's like never before. I'm now ready to be that little miss who can miss everything coming my way. They say I'm crazy, probably no change, but yeah, that's okay. On the contrary, speaking of me, I'll let them be because this poem is my auntie. Now let me abbreviate, just so you can relate. No, not manipulate, but to congratulate so we can jubilate. Well, just like Kizania. I live the life that I love and I love the life that I live. Like Ruga, I continue to cook that thing. Like Rema, I drop the banga like Kwame Eugene. I didn't come here to play like you're not gay. I'm gay. I'm not gay and like I'm a champion champ. I am more than a champion.
Ah, Chumai. Okay, can you tell us the story behind this poem? Like, what really inspired you to write this poem?
It's because of how I was disregarded in society. Most of the time,
Why were you disregarded?
most of the time people discriminate me and sometimes maybe because of my size or how I'm built. Of course, it's not my fault being so small and short like this. I'm created by the Almighty like this, and of course I love myself like this. So I've been hearing so many things behind me, in front of me, and then I'm that sensitive type. If you say something harsh to me, if I don't cry before you, I'll go and cry in the corner. So this poem especially the stanza where it says, sometimes I just want to be locked up like Goldilocks, think like Tinkerbell, smile like Goldilocks. You see this Goldilocks, Cinderella, Bondita, these are my favorite people in movies.
Okay.
Yes, Cinderella is a fairy tale. Goldilocks a fairy tale, Bondita is an Indian movie, and then Pendal Methods like Safety Youth. Safety Youth also is my favorite female writer. Yeah, because in one of her books that she released not long ago, the title is Under the Spell of Poetry. So that's where the line came. Under the like Safety Youth, I'm under the spell of poetry. And like Rockstar from Ghana is an artist from Ghana. Yeah. So this line explained that. So because of what people will be saying to me, I'll just go to the extent of locking myself in my room and then lock myself like Goldilocks in my room, and then while I smile to myself, sometimes I will sing and then I write. So this stanza explained that one. And then come on, I just want to show the world that I can be is visible, incredible, meticulous, mysterious, and of course ambitious. That is, no matter how I am created by the Almighty, I just want to show the world the talent that I have. I want to show the world how incredible, meticulous, mysterious, and of course ambitious I am.
Regardless of your size.
Yeah. So like some people say small but pepe. Sometimes
Sometimes you become
yeah.
ginger.
Yeah, sometimes that's why when I climb on stage, I don't look at anyone, especially when I'm acting drama. I'll be like, yeah, this is my stage, and then when I get there, you can say whatever or you can do whatever. But when I'm on stage, I don't know who's looking at me or whatever.
Just
I
do your
act
thing.
freely, like how I act at home. Yeah. So the last one, well, just like Kiss Daniel. Kiss Daniel is also my favorite artist from Nigeria. Roheyatou, the same thing. Ruga. You see, my favorite people, I included them in this poem, and then that's it. Omar Cham and Chenroge are also my favorite in the poetry industry. So that's why I included
Okay,
them.
and if you are given chance to collaborate this favorite artist of yours, would you take the opportunity?
Of course, I've been dreaming to. I've been dreaming to collaborate with these people, but I was like, when will that happen? Will that ever happen? But I
Okay,
just
inshallah. I pray the dream comes true.
Amina.
And how do you also feel after reciting this poem?
I feel relieved. Yes, but when I didn't publish it, I was not so relieved. But then when I went to Newsrad in 2023, with my fellow counselors of our batch, went to Newsrad, and then I said, okay, let me just recite this poem there. But then it was not published. I just started writing in 2023 and I wrote this poem. So I recited it in Newsrad, and then people were like, wow. But then
You are mesmerized.
yes, and then but the most amazing thing is like when I was with my fellow counselors, and then our head girl was like, we want Aisatu to come and recite for us. And then the students and teachers, by then they didn't know me, so they were like, who is she, who is she? But immediately I approached the mic. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Immediately I approached the mic, people were shouting. I was like, what happened? I was okay, then I think I get it. Maybe it's because of how small I am in the midst of.
Who is this little guy?
Yeah.
Who is this little guy?
Maybe it's because of how small I am in the midst of all my fellow counselors. And then immediately I approached the mic. We are like, wow, wow, wow. I said, okay, then I have something to deliver. I don't have to disappoint these people.
Yes.
So after reciting this, they were like, and so we are shouting before I even finished.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I was really happy. And then some took a picture of me while I was on stage. And some people told me that you have to publish this. I said, okay, no problem, I'll publish it. So just last year, September 7th, I released the poem.
Okay. And then after releasing it, what were the comments?
Yeah,
Were they positive or negative?
most were positive. I don't remember receiving any negative. And most of the comments were about my voice. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you think poetry can help people navigate through difficult times?
Poetry can help you relieve the stress in you. Poetry can help unite people. The beauty of poetry, the language, everything. So when poetry in the Gambia, should I say, matter a lot. Even though now a lot of people are into poetry, and that is making me like almost want to give up. But I just
Why is
want.
that?
There are a lot of people you don't even understand. And as for me, as I'm more like a cage bat. I even have to recite it. I have to recite a poem cage bat that is going to talk about me. Yeah. So me who is just there sitting one place, not moving, not attending poetry shows. I'm just there reciting, writing, and then sharing and then helping myself. So it's not helping me though, but I think I'm trying because I need to help myself, support myself in order for people to help me. So poetry it plays an important role in the country because most people express themselves and some is just because they want to be heard or some because they want to be famous or whatever.
Okay, and in your opinion, what role does poetry play in our today's society, and how do you see it impacting the lives of people?
Poetry creates a great impact in the society because it creates awareness, especially if things are happening. You see poets all over writing, reciting, especially if election is coming. Come and see how poets are going to start reciting about election. If democracy, when the former president left us and then democracy was introduced, many poets started writing about democracy. Here, tribalism, you know how the country is tribalism. Many poets are writing and wrote about tribalism. So, most of the time, poetry creates awareness about the happenings in the country.
Okay, and do you also have a poem regarding that?
No, I wrote, but I did not cram.
Okay, and when you write, do you have a specific audience in mind, or do you write primarily for yourself?
Most of the times, I write for myself because the reason why I venture into poetry is to express myself because I feel like most of the time when I want to do something, I cannot do it. And then at that time, especially when I graduated, I wanted to do journalism, but due to reasons it could not go. Law, the same thing. So I said, okay, then for now, poetry is my only hope. Let me use this and express myself. So how it escalated like that, only God knows.
Okay, and also, when you recite your poem, and you feel like this is not this doesn't feel right, like sometimes you tend to recite a particular poem of yours, but you aren't feeling
Comfortable about
comfortable
it.
like that, or you are not in the mood.
Yeah.
How do you go about it?
Well, I've not recited a poem whereas I don't feel really comfortable. I have written poems whereas I feel like something is missing
Missing,
here.
yes.
Yes, something is missing there. And then, though I have not recited it yet, I wrote it and kept it in my diary. And I was like, okay, this when reciting it to release it, I'm going to add this and this and this because for now, while it is written and pasted, I feel like something is off. So I'll just leave it there for maybe another time and come and fix it.
Okay. How do you feel when readers interpret your poems in ways that is different from your original piece?
Yeah, I don't feel happy most of the time, though people have different opinion on a particular thing or someone. Sometimes the way you interpret your poem is not the way others will interpret it.
Sure.
Yes. So, because people have different opinions. So you as a writer or poet, sometimes you go to the extent of going on board and explaining what every stanza or line means so that people can understand. But you know, sometimes you cannot do that for everyone. So no matter what you do, people will take it the other way around.
And what do you wish for the readers to take from your poem?
I wish them to be inspired by my words, of course, not just my voice, because most of the time I feel like people are concentrated on only my voice,
Your
and I don't
voice.
want that. I don't want that. Listen to my words. Listen to what I'm saying. As the former president will say, when I talk, don't look at my mouth. Listen to when I talk, don't look at my mouth. Listen to what I'm saying. So I don't
Yeah.
want them to listen to my voice or what. Though it is good, but please listen to the words I see, whether it makes sense or not, whether it tally with what is happening or not, whether it tally with what is happening in your life or not. Sometimes people text me and they'll be like, this poem, I feel like you are talking to me, you are referring to me, and I feel happy about it. At least I'll say, yeah, he or she listen to the lines, listen to the words, and then can understand.
And resonate with it. Yeah. Now, can you recite this poem of yours for us, the cage bird?
No, I'm yet to write it.
Okay,
I'm
I
yet to
thought
write.
you
I just,
finish it.
because I just started just yesterday. I thought of this. I was like, yeah, I'm more like a kid, but this poem, inshallah, is going to be it. And of course, I'm going to share it to you.
No problem.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
And if you could have a conversation with any poet or poetess, living or dead, who would it be?
Wait. Let me come to the Gambia.
Okay.
I would love to have a poem collab with Gay, of course.
So maybe.
Though I approached him and I told him how much I admire him and I want him to mentor me, but he's a very, very busy man. Very busy guy. I approached Omar Champion Cham, the same thing. So my favorite poets are not really helping me. My favorites are not helping me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since you are her favorites, and then so love and support. And are you also working on any new projects or collections that you can tell us about?
Yeah, of course. That is the cage bat,
Okay.
and also the pen possessors. The pen possessors that has to do with writers, not just poets. Writers and the role they play in our society, in our lives. Yeah, just a short one. But the cage bat is talking about myself. Let me just leave it like that.
Fine.
Yeah.
And how do you see your poetry evolving in the future? Are there new themes or styles you are excited to explore?
There are new styles because every day I learn. I learn from other poets. I learn from mostly writers. That is because my first mentor is a writer, and then mostly I concentrate on these writers. So most of the time I learn new themes, new styles from writers. So sometimes I'll be like, I want you to mentor me, and they will be like, hi, how can I mentor you when you know how to do this more than me? I was like, no. People keep telling me this. I was saying, no, I'm learning from you guys, and then you guys are the seniors because me, I just started writing in 2023 and then started reciting last year. So I'm just new.
Yeah, learning never ends. Just yesterday, someone was telling me, because the guy told me something new that I didn't know. So he told me that learning never ends.
Yeah.
So you see, you must go further.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to your fellow aspiring poets?
Yeah. My advice to my fellow aspiring poets, you just keep writing, reading. Sometimes Gambia our problem is reading.
Most people say that Gambians don't like reading.
We don't like reading. Most of the times, the people who read, I would say they are these literature students because as a literature
I
student,
love reading.
as a literature student, you must read. I'm a novel lover. I love reading novels a lot.
So am I.
So as aspiring poets, don't be like me. I don't want to read. There, you just be there reciting. Right, and you read. The more you read, the more you are exposed to words. And then if you come across new words, you go to check the dictionary and know the meaning of it. That way, you'll be more exposed to poetry. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the most unexpected source of inspiration you've ever had for a poem?
From a poem of mine or someone's?
Any. The most unexpected source of inspiration for a particular poem.
I'll go with my poem. That is The Invisible Girl.
Okay.
Yeah. The line where I said, the Goldilocks. How to call it again? be locked up like Goldilocks thing, like Tinkerbell, smileable. So that stanza inspires me a lot because it talk about how my life is, and then when I recite it out there, people will be like, whoa, 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 even before I even complete it. So that one inspired me from people and even within myself.
Okay. Do you also have a favorite place to write or a place where you feel most inspired?
Indoors. I love writing indoors. Most of the time when there is no noise, I'll just write, lock myself up, and then start writing. Let the words flow.
Okay. And if you weren't a poet, what other art form or career do you think you would pursue?
Drama.
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 Just
Yeah,
drama or another?
I love drama. I even started doing drama before poetry. And before I was like, me into poetry, I'm not much into poetry. But if we say drama, ha, most of the any opportunity that has to do that has to do with drama, I'll go in for it. Most of the time, especially in my school, I join more than 7 clubs because of this drama. Drama.
Drama.
Everyone is mentioning my name. Drama, drama. Because I was like, I don't care. When I climb on this stage,
It is yours.
yes, the stage is all mine. I feel like it's my home. It's my room. Even I and my team members from Basi, that is Basi Got Talent, BGT, we represented NEC of 2022 on drama. So, during our after our first round, I don't know from where. I and my members we were just strolling around in the evening after the following day. So they were like, "Hey, she's the one. She's." I
Well, they
don't,
started pointing you
yeah,
out.
it's this small girl. This small girl. She's the one. You know,
And you
everyone
might be
said,
older than them.
yeah. Everyone's like, is this? Even kids will be calling me small. It's crazy. So the leader was like, they are referring to me. I said me. And then I was just turn and they said, those people, if you be like, those people are saying, is this girl from yesterday? She's the one who was talking. So most of the time I like double casting in a drama. Most of the time I act as an activist or moderator.
Okay.
Or sometimes I come and act and then go backstage and then after the play and everything I'll come and then talk about the play. Yeah, so it's drama.
Okay. And do you feel that being a woman has influenced your poetic voice or the reception of your work?
Being a woman has influenced my poetic work because I feel like most of the time women are just like we are caged. We are not allowed to. We are not. We are not allowed to speak. Or most of the time when we speak, we are beaten by men. That was then. Now it's now that women start speaking up. Women start voicing. Now it's more like 50-50. Where
Men
men
don't like to hear 50.
they don't like to hear that, but now that is what we are doing. But you know, at home you cannot do that. You cannot say 50-50 because if we try it, let me not touch there more because I'm not married. No one seeing things. Yeah.
Okay.
So the my poem which touched the which influenced women in general is my rapist poem.
Rapist.
Yeah, it's a collabo poem though, but I feature the ethical poetess. So we love we love collaborating together. You know, we are friends and then people are like crazy people. Most of it most especially ethical. People are saying she's so crazy. So they are like, you like collaborating with this guy? I say, yeah, you know, when you collaborate with someone at first and the work is good, everyone love it, everyone appreciate it, and you too love it, you'll go in for another one. Yeah, so we even collaborated on another one to Devastated Youth. But then I'll come to my this poem, Mr. Rapist, and you'll also hear the comments about this poem.
Okay. And can you share the poem with us?
Yeah, it's like this. Though it's a collabo, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
recite
Recite your
hers.
part.
Yes, I'll recite mine. So there it goes. Mr. Rapist, you know, it's just so disheartening. It feels so sickening knowing all you cared about was your freaking feelings when she was screaming in pains. Just how could you turn a deaf ear to her scream? Feeling so vulnerable, she thought she was capable of making you disabled, but you end up turning the tables. Burnt by your desire, you couldn't retire, so you fired and killed her virginity and dignity simultaneously. She screamed in agony, shrieked in misery, yet there was no mystery, so that turns out to be a history. Mr. Rapist, don't you have a heart? You couldn't think of anything but your disgusting feelings which will just last for a few minutes. She has been victimized, her gardens vandalized, her territories terrorized which can never be reorganized. She was pressurized and traumatized. See, those memories can never be erased. Hey, Mr. Rapist, how dare you? I mean, how dare you lay your filthy hands on her body? I know you are a body, should I call you sugar daddy? Yeah, you are probably somebody to everybody, but a nobody to somebody. Hey, you so-called damn Don. Because you've done that deed, you felt so high and mighty, forget you shall be punished by the Almighty. The beautiful innocent lady was in pain, shouted to no avail. Limbs gone lame, no, don't forget you shall be put to jail. You shall be punished by the Almighty. You shall be prosecuted for that. The ambitious brothers.
What's the story, the inspiration behind this poem?
It's it's confidential though. I don't want to touch because of my close ones. That's why I decided. But I don't want to mention their names or go deeper because you know it's confidential.
Okay,
Yeah.
understand.
So because of how I see they are being tormented by this Mr. Rapist, and then Mr. Rapist won't think of anything but his disgusting desires. And then after you raping the lady, he will just dump the lady and go. And then people will be like blaming the woman. It's because of your dress code. I mean, who does that? Who does that? Because of your dress code, you can dress anyhow. It's your clothes, it's your money. And then if you dress in short, you go and meet the Almighty there. People's lifestyle are different. So why blame her because of the outfit she put on? It's because of your disgusting desire. Sorry to say, but I have to say it. Yeah. So this Mr. Rapist is more like a beast. It's more like he don't. That's why I asked if he doesn't have a heart. So after this rape thing, everything, the woman will be traumatized and pressurized, and then people from nowhere will be like, you were raped and all that, you know, that will
She will
traumatize
start
her.
isolating
Yes,
herself from people.
yes. So that will traumatize, and some will be like, the family will be like, you have to get married, especially if she gets pregnant after the scene, after everything. People will pressurize her and tell her to go and get married to someone she don't want to get married. So you know all
And
this
the guy
family.
will go scot-free.
Yeah, we just got scot-free. Sometimes he will not be jailed. Sometimes even he's jailed less than a week, he's out. You see, the Gambia is no safe. That's why most of our fathers don't like letting us go out.
It's so disheartening. Well, time is not
So
on our
because
side. Yeah, can you please tell your final words to your fans out there and everyone?
okay, to my family, my mom, my dad, my best friends back in Basse Got Talent. Yeah, you know, I love that organization so much because that's where everything started.
Okay.
Yeah, and then to my best friends staying in Latrikunda too, and then in Basse, I want to thank you all and then appreciate everything you have done for me, the support and everything. I should be here with my girl who is staying in Lashakuna, but she's feeling sick. That is why she couldn't join me. Yeah, so but still she's following me up, telling me to attend the interview, and then after the interview she asks how far, how is everything. So I want to thank you and then tell you how much I appreciate it, and then I really need your support more and more, especially my poetry journey. Not just to my family, but other poets out there. If you feel like there are aspiring poets, you come up and help them. Even now, people are coming to me and then telling me to mentor them, and I was like, mentor them, I have not even started, but even though I try helping them, supporting them because they are my fellow aspiring poets. So the ones who know that they are very good at poetry, they should come on board and try to give us support. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. It's
Yeah.
an honor having you here today.
Thank you.
Well, to everyone out there, this is the Poetry Slam. So here with me, Roheyatou Touray. You can kindly follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more episodes. Thank you very much. Sponsors are also invited. You can call on the various numbers on the screen to sponsor this program. Till next week. Bye bye.